house. So of course we've got a shameless plug
Woo.
for the blues. You're like, hey, that's not Coach Nick. What? That's
Hi,
Mama
everyone.
Jan.
Hello there.
So you gotta talk into the mic.
Hi there. Hello, everyone.
You guys are familiar with my Mama Jan in the house today. I want to thank you guys for joining my mama. While Coach Nick is out Coach Nicking around, we've got Carla in the house and Ram. Welcome, everyone. If you feel drawn to press play on this video, it is highly likely that you have guides, teachers, light beings coming in to work with you on your ancient alchemic skills. So we're going to be talking about that not only today right here on the Akashic Show, but I'm going to share with you what the content is going to be inside the Akashic Academy membership program for the month of June, because we're going to be diving into ancient alchemy. Everybody wants to know all about ancient alchemy. Me too. Most of us have spent time working with this on some level. To the degree of awareness, we're going to up that today for you. Whatever level you've been working on shifting and transforming things in your life, because some of us are working very, very galactically on this. How many of you guys know my girl, Miss Janelle Cameron? She is a very, very valuable teacher, show host here at the Academy. Janelle is absolutely aware of her intergalactic work as an alchemist. Some of us are focused more on the microcosm. We are alchemizing things in our emotions, in our physical bodies. We're alchemizing things in our thoughts. We're alchemizing things in our families. Truly, we're all alchemizing on all of these different dimensional levels. It just has to do with our degree of awareness. So like I said, we're going to up our degree of awareness today. Usually we do puppets, but we didn't do any puppets.
No puppets today.
No puppets today. But in this broadcast, I'm going to talk to you guys about 4 states of being that you're going to want to cultivate for becoming a very good alchemist. And one of those, we'll just give you a little hint. We do have a little art project here for you today. Creativity is a really important part of opening up your mind, even if you don't feel like you are particularly good at it. Guess what we did last night?
We had some fun.
We had some fun. We sat down, we turned on YouTube videos, and we did some art with our YouTube videos. So we're going to show our art. You ready?
So here's mine.
I'm going to get it all nice and close there. And I made her sign it too. Just a little bit. She says, Nana. Ah. All right. Here's mine.
That one's really cool.
Truthfully, it's better if I hold it far away. If I get it kind of close, you can see kind of my strokes, and you're like, yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, well, because you're my mom. You have to give me an A+. All right, thanks for hanging out, Mama. I love you.
I'm gonna go watch from the other room. Bye, guys.
Okay. Hey, share this out for me a little bit too.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you guys to let's gather a little bit more of our Facebook tribe here as we are talking about alchemy. Such an important subject, because truly the better we get at this idea of transforming matter, which is what alchemy is, the better we're going to get at anchoring into 5D. And I know you guys want it yesterday, like I do. All right, so I'm going to just take a moment, invite a couple friends to join us here on this broadcast. Thank you guys also for sharing with your friends, inviting your friends to come in and hang out. Start a watch party as well. All right. Let's dive in now and talk. Oh, I didn't talk about any news. See, Coach Nick is here, and I bring my mom in. And I think I run the show. And I forget to follow the formula. All right. We do actually have some cool things going on, lots of cool things actually going on inside the Akashic Academy. For those of you who are not yet members of the Academy, are you aware that there's a private membership section where you can dive in? Right now, you can get your first month for $4.44. Month 2 will be $44.44. But it is my intention to earn that level of value for the growth that you receive when you join us inside of the Academy We are consciously calling in those who are ready to learn, those who want to learn right now, who want to up-level their skills. And in the past 2 weeks, we've added over 15 new members to the Akashic Academy. I've been sharing some of the amazing feedback that I have been getting from these new members who are not only tuning in to the 10 workshops, the exclusive brand new workshops that we do every single month for the members of the Academy, but you also get access to our entire library of workshops. And I'm finding that those who are showing up, who are ready to learn, ready to expand, are diving into that archive and just getting their minds, their hearts, their energy fields blown wide open. I'm going to share that link for you all right now and invite you to please check that out. What's going on inside, like I said, inside will blow your mind. There is no obligation to continue after your first month. If you decide that you dive in and it's not all that you wanted and more, then bless you. We bless you to find what is all that and more for you, because truthfully, there's a soul family, there is a place, there is a home, there is a sacred classroom where you can go and study, you can learn, you can connect with those who are like-minded, like-souled, like-hearted with you, and experience an incredible transformation in your life. This is what alchemy is all about. If you are trying to shift anything at all in your life right now, then you are an alchemist. Before this show, I jumped on Google to get an actual definition for you of alchemy. And Google talks about alchemy being the forerunner of chemistry, and it is the actual transformation of matter, of physical matter. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me. When I think of ancient alchemists, I generally think of, like, my mind goes back to not super duper ancient, like the ancient Taoists and some of those more Western, I should say Eastern lineages. I kind of go back to the Old West, and I start thinking of, truthfully, the charlatans who were selling the snake oil, going town to town, trying to turn either the water into, well, I guess it was Jesus turned the water into wine. That was some nice alchemy. What did they turn into? Gold. They try to turn everything into gold, right? This is one of the first things that pops up in my mind. And there is truly a physical component to why we want to show up and shift our lives. Let's just get down to it, right? We want better lives. We want to experience more fulfillment, more joy, more abundance, more feel like we're standing in our potential, more success. We are wired to want to experience this. So it's natural that we're going to want to figure out, how can we use all of the tools possible to create this? I will absolutely admit that the things that drew me to learning about alchemy, about the law of attraction, were damn straight. I wanted to get more acting jobs. And the more I meditated and the more I learned to move my energy, make it magnetic from the inside, drawing that to me, which I truly desired, adjusting my emotions, I got good at this, and I got really excited about diving into using my alchemy skills to get the next acting job. And that's when I started to be like, holy shit, there's something to this. It was absolutely material in nature for me. Now, as I become just more mature, that's what happens to us. We grow, we become more mature. We become more mature in our age, in our bodies, in our thought processes. We can become more mature in how we want to look at ourselves and grow and approach life. Okay. Success began to have a different energy frequency to me. It wasn't about how many acting jobs I was getting and how much validation I was getting. The more I dove into the meditation has a consciousness of its own. Yes, I was using it to shift things that would physically benefit and support the goals and desires that I had in my life. But what was happening was a transformation that was deeper. And this is the nature of how it works. So the first really important thing that I want to say to you is do not be hard on yourself, and don't be hard on other people either, by the way. All right, yes, there is a superficial nature to why we begin diving in and learning these things, but it's part of the process. Just if instead of being judgmental towards yourself or others when you see them maybe standing in a little too much ego, in your opinion, cut them some slack. Cut yourself some slack. We're learning, we're growing, we're expanding, and it's so important right here on the planet because as we are showing up to alchemize our life, whatever level of awareness you're working on, whether you are working on a very physical level, let's think about this symbolically for a second, okay? The earth, we've got above and below, right? We've got all of this different power surrounding us here. The earth in the middle here. We are transforming. We're showing up on the earth. We're transforming in the physical. It makes sense that we're going to show up in this expression at this point of time right now and want to physically transform our life. But the more you begin diving into your practice, which you must have practice, if you're going to be good at alchemizing anything, you can't just show up and expect to shoot energy out your fingers and it worked perfectly the first time. Every now and then it does. But there's some understanding, there's some awareness, there's some aspects to ourselves that we must cultivate in order to be really good at manifesting. And one of those, obviously, is the meditation. When you begin to meditate more regularly, the presence, the awareness, the consciousness that you are inviting in. You could also call this an invitation to communicate with the Akashic field. Right? The Akashic field is this higher level of knowledge, consciousness, wisdom that we can tap into in any moment. When you begin meditating, even if it's to get better at manifesting physical shit in your reality, the meditation practice in and of itself, the invitation of presence into your life is going to begin to change you. And you're going to begin to work with alchemy on a deeper level. And you're going to begin to understand that it's not just about rearranging your physical life for more comfort. You're going to be able to dive down to the very microcosm to see who you are. And you're going to be able to shift and transform on an energetic level aspects of you, paradigms of thoughts and beliefs that are making up who you are. And you're going to be able to transmute that energetically. So I'm going to invite you to, let's take this idea of alchemy on the physical plane, and let's move from the earth plane here, and let's go deep in, deep within, deep into the microcosmic aspects of ourselves. If you have ever experienced taking a nice deep breath and calming yourself down, you've alchemized or changed or transformed the chemistry within your cellular structure. You are an alchemist. You have the ability to bring your awareness to easy ways to begin to transform the chemistry within your body, within your being. Okay? Right now, as we are shifting from the 3D into the 5D, it is like all hands on deck on planet Earth. All the alchemists, come forward right now. Release your knowledge from your bones. I am so happy that you guys are here right now because I believe that you are all ancient alchemists, that you have ancient alchemists working with you, these beings showing up to open up your awareness, to help support you in creating the energetic space and cultivating your own energy so that you can get really good at it. Because from a cosmic scale right now, it is all hands on deck. We are transmuting these pieces of density, whether it's within yourself and your emotions, whether it's in your ancestral lineage and line, whether it's inter-freaking galactically, like my girl Janelle Cameron. Love you, Janelle. Mwah. We're being called to show up and do our work, truly, we're all working on all of those levels, by the way. The reason that Janelle Cameron recognizes that she is working on such a high level is because she has a very high level of awareness. Now, if you are working on the more microcosmic levels, I don't tend to work with big intergalactic good versus evil in the same way that Janelle does. I am working through it in my own way, just like each of you guys are. Okay? Our energy becomes focused in whatever dimensional space, whatever dimensional timeline where we can be the most effective. Janelle is very effective working in those intergalactic spaces. I am very effective at working with an individual for transformational experience within yourself. There are other light workers who are very, very good at working with families and repairing dynamics within families. Okay, just like the different levels of, doctors that assess different aspects of us, there are different light workers who are showing up as alchemists in different areas. But truthfully, they're all interconnected. So the more work that you do on your inner self, the more you're transmuting for the entire planet, the more you are transmuting for the entire galaxy. You may have different levels of awareness of how you're showing up and doing it. All right. A lot of us have awareness in, or will have an awareness in dream time. If you have a really strange or weird dream, or you get a sense that you know that you were out there kind of doing something. So begin to bring your awareness to one. Just start to learn about yourself. What dimension am I working on alchemizing right now? There are a lot of people who are working on alchemizing careers. I'm one of them too. Okay? The shift on the planet from 3D to 5D is going to move a lot of us to shift careers, because the paradigm of how you figure out what you show up and do to be valued in society in the 3D is totally different than what it looks like in the 5D. So there are certain light workers who are showing up, and through their own personal experience, they are alchemizing the density of this old paradigm. They are breaking apart this old information and creating new pathways where you can alchemize your world more easily. So what areas of your life, just take a moment and do some introspection, do some dissecting, some understanding of yourself, just so you can understand yourself better, so you can love yourself better, so you can appreciate where you're showing up doing the work. Okay? When you begin to examine it from this microcosm and this macrocosmic spectrum, from the cellular areas, the cellular aspects of how we're alchemizing, to the galactic parts of how we're alchemizing. Oh man, I just looked up and caught a picture, myself all gnarled up on the screen like this. Nobody take a screenshot of that, please. Please don't take a screenshot of that. All right. When you begin to dissect the understanding of, ooh, I'm shifting on the cellular level. Ooh, I'm shifting my emotions. Ooh, I'm alchemizing my thoughts. Ooh, I'm alchemizing my physical world. Ooh, I'm alchemizing the whole planet. Oh, I'm doing it for the galaxy. You just begin to have a more expansive understanding of how you're showing up and playing a part in what's going on right here. And truthfully, that is consciousness. You want to know what consciousness is? Your consciousness is how well you understand your ability, how well you understand the dynamics of what's really playing out as you're showing up, interacting with all parts of your world. Okay, and as your consciousness raises, your understanding of how it's all working together, as well as your level of participation, becomes much more dynamic. All right, does anybody have any questions about what we've talked about so far? And then we are going to move on, and I'm going to share with you the 4 states that I really want you guys to focus on cultivating so that you can become really, really good alchemists. Like I said, all hands on deck right now. This is why I said if you are drawn to press play on this video, then you likely have guides, you likely have ancestry, and I'm not talking about the Old West guys, hawking the snake oil and the gold. That's how I referred to the alchemists in the beginning. I'm talking about the ancient greats that you hear about, Jesus, Melchizedek, Lao Tzu, Kuan Yin. I know I'm forgetting so many of them, Saint Germain. We are talking about the Merlin, the ancient magicians, and there are many, 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 many more who avatars and namesakes that we would identify with this level of transformational abilities. If you are here right now, I can tell you they are part of your lineage. They're showing up for you to more dynamically get you in sync with what you are capable of doing. They're here to heighten your awareness. All month long in June, inside the Akashic Academy, we are going to be studying the ancient alchemists. I am going to be doing activations that will connect you directly to these ancient lineages that will release this from within you. Okay? I'm not here to give you all of these pieces of knowledge. I'm here to give you the pieces so that you can discover what you're here to discover. I'm here to be the missing link, to help hold that level of connection so that what you're here to uncover, the magic that only you can unlock and know, can be brought forward and shared on the planet. Now, how do you get to that state? Let's talk about these 4 states of being that I want you guys to bring your awareness to start cultivating. And these are really, really huge, 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 huge. So I want you to write them down, okay? Let me just click through here. I did ask if anybody had any questions. And then I didn't see anybody had any questions. Let's see, Cindy says there are a variety of abilities as there are a variety of individuals. Yes, 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 I love this. One of the beautiful things that I have been noticing with my Akashic Record mastermind students, I'm so excited to sit down and just write a newsletter about this, because there's a pattern and trend right now where I have a handful of light workers who are about to graduate, and what they are doing and creating within the Akashic Records is so individual and unique. Different forms of healing, different forms of journeying, different forms of activating ourselves. It's not just making them a replica of me and how I do it, because that's not what learning the Akashic Records does for you. What it does is it gives you access to the cosmic guidebook of the freaking universe. Okay? Here are the, I'm looking for questions. I am feeling leaving the people way of life, and I feel I have shifted up and shed a skin. Linda, awesome. Yes, I feel it. Hi, Bridge. Good to see you, Bridget Sloan in the house, the editor of the Akashic Magazine, which is a work of art, I have to say. I'm scrolling through briefly here. I don't see any specific questions coming in, more comments. Thank you guys very much for them, by the way. I like to go back and read these and connect, answer them, feel what you guys are feeling. Here, it's such a sacred space that we're creating, so please keep the comments coming in. Share what you're experiencing, because there is somebody who is going to be positively affected by what you have to say. Okay, the first state that I want to talk about bringing your awareness to begin cultivating is unattachment. This is huge. The vast, vast majority of us are attached to certain ideals, certain ways that we want to experience life. We're attached to lifestyle. We're very, very attached to lifestyle. I love to watch shows like Naked and Afraid and Survivor, because when you strip away, just strip everything away that we're attached to, and you make people sit on their naked ass out on a beach in nature, you get back down to what unattachment really is. And someone asked, I believe on the Coaches and Healers Sangha when I was doing Akashic meditations for entrepreneurs earlier this week, how do you go about like releasing that need for the physical comfort and the support, because we can get so tied up in what seems to be a really, really important physical priority. But then I promise you, you go sit your ass out there on the naked beach and you're just sitting there and everything begins to melt away. For me, it's being in nature for extended periods of time. If you can go off the grid and go on a trek or go into the forest or go camping, something where you have enough time that you can go through a complete cycle of at least 24 hours, because while we are learning to unhinge from linear time, we're also very cyclical creatures. And it would, if you're really, really needing unattachment, it's like having at least one full cycle of day and night if you can't stay a whole damn month out there in the woods. We get attached to relationships. We get attached to food. We get attached to sugar. So learning to cultivate a state of unattachment is huge. And this is hard until it's hard, and then one day it gets a little bit easier and it becomes a little easier and a little easier. But this is something that requires support and a stick-with-itness. Okay, it's not something that happens instantaneously. Creative improv is so huge. That's why we were doing a little flowers last night. I was going to say, hey, let's put on some YouTube videos and let's draw. If you do not have creative improv in your life, and by the way, I got to give a shout out to Margaret. I gave Margaret a shout out earlier this week on another show for this. During our Akashic Academy Student Mastermind this week, she said something so freaking brilliant that made all of us thespians in the house. That's going to have to be a new thing. Actor turned psychic. It used to be model turned actress. Now it's going to be actress turned psychic. I know, it just takes us right back to the Old West, the snake oil. I know. All right. Margaret was talking about the importance of improv, of when you are participating with spirits, with light beings, with teachers, these ancient alchemists that I'm talking about that are coming in to illuminate wisdom on the planet right now, you can look at these as light being teachers. They are lesson specific. They are here to ignite our ability to transmute density wherever we're supposed to show up to do it. Okay? When these certain light being teachers come in, you can open up your relationship, your connection, your effectiveness at getting information by just being willing to improv, being willing to play. You got to open up your imagination and you got to engage. You got to act as if, suspend any disbelief that this isn't real and just play. Ask, what are you doing here? Let the first thing that pops into your mind pop into your mind. Okay? Be playful about this. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to say about the creative improv. Yeah, if you are not experiencing creativity for the sake of just seeing what will come out of an experiment, you chefs, my home chefs, you guys can do this at home in your kitchen. If you have not built this time to creatively play for yourself, you are screwed. You're screwed. You can't do it. Okay? You must have this as a part of your life. It's a very, very important part. You can't brush this off to being, oh, that's when I was a kid. I went through a huge realization for myself that I had become very, very resistant to play in my life. And I literally looked at Mike and said, after we had Jack, we got to have another kid because I cannot play trains anymore. I just was I felt so uncomfortable. I would rather clean the house than get down and play. And then I realized, oh, I got a problem here that needs to be readjusted because play is so important. And I began to slowly, and I still do. As you can see, I'm getting better at, hey, let's engage in some kind of a family activity and play, then clean shit up at the end of the night. But I got to work at it because there's a part of me that likes order and feels like I go into the responsible paradigm, the responsible human being. This is how, adult, this is how we show up. And that's a subtle trap. All right, your creative time is very, very important because you will not cultivate the energetic skills, the emotional skills, the emotional and the brain muscles, people, to think of new shit and to open up new ways of being in your life if you haven't created space for that in the, what I'm going to call in the mundane. I've been watching a lot of Eckhart Tolle too, and it's so cool to experience other teachers who are saying the same essence of the intuitive information that I'm getting, and maybe you guys have experienced this before too, but then they'll use a different vocabulary for it, and you hear it in a different way from a different perspective, and you're just like, oh yeah, I totally get that. Right? Eckhart Tolle has been talking a lot about the nature of how we see ourselves grow. Most of us want to be able to make a shift instantaneously in our life and just like, okay, I see it now, I got it, let's go. Make that shift. But it doesn't really work that way. What Eckhart Tolle shared that I watched a couple of nights ago that made me like, oh, wow, that's powerful. In terms of becoming emotionally triggered, because I talk about when you learn to control your emotional triggers and you've become triggered and you shift, you decide, no, I'm not going to behave in that old programmed way. I'm going to make a choice here. You've instantly manifested. You've instantly changed your vibrational frequency. So I love diving into this idea of emotional triggers. It's another area where I'm transmuting density because I'm a very passionate person. I tend to get very emotionally triggered. So as I work on this on myself, I'm helping to pave this way for others. I'm helping to create this sacred space and transmute it on the planet. What Eckhart shared that I found like, oh, that makes a lot of sense is when we recognize that we're an emotionally triggerable being, you're an emotionally triggerable fellowess, that's me. I want to instantly shift that and change that, but it doesn't necessarily work like, oh, hey, you get an instant shift. What Eckhart said is the first thing that we usually begin to do, and this is how you know that you're beginning to grow in that area, is that after the trigger has happened and you're experiencing the anger or the frustration or whatever it is the fallout is, that time begins to shrink. That's usually the first space that you start to see and notice, okay, oh, well, at least I wasn't pissed as long as I was normally pissed. Okay? So I can't remember why I started talking about Eckhart Tolle, but you guys must have needed to hear that. I will share with you something very, very powerful. Something else very powerful that I get from Eckhart, which is number 3. We've talked about unattachment. We've talked about creative improv. The third state that I want to bring your awareness to cultivate is stillness. And this does have a lot to do with controlling our emotions. When you learn to cultivate a level of stillness, most of the time, the reason and me too, I do this. I get moving my body, I talk with my hands. Normally I'm knocking my earbuds out. It's because there's a lot of energy. I've opened my frequency to bring in a lot of energy, a lot of light, a lot of high-powered, high vibes. Yet the physical body, the physical Emily still needs to learn how to sit peacefully, holding all of those frequencies, and then it's a job. I'm getting better. I'm maybe a little more still in this video than I have been before. But I tend to, especially live on air, when I'm feeling everybody's energy, there's so much, it just needs to move through my body. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, when you want to cultivate powerful alchemic abilities, I might have made that word up, it's very important that you learn to hold, harness in a very still kind of way all of your energy. That's what it looks like when the physical energy is, the person's not holding the physical energy so well. What does it look like when you're not holding your emotional energy so well, when you're not still in your emotions? What does it look like when you're not still in your thoughts? This idea of being able to hold a high level of frequency within all of those bodies, the thought body, the emotional body, the physical body, the light body, yet still hold it in a state of stillness, of harnessed control, is a very, very important state for you guys to cultivate. Okay, we got one more. We've got unattachment. We've got creative improv. We've got stillness. The other thing that is really, really important is cultivating prana. Okay, this is your life force energy. You do this by staying in your practice. I love Tai Chi Qigong. I love breath work. I love meditation. All of this helps to cultivate life force energy. I love grounding. I love pulling energy up from Mother Earth. Simply bringing the awareness to your prana, that life force, that chi, and inviting in an awareness of this energy and purposefully expanding it for your highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to you, is the natural state of our being. This is how we are begging to show up. This is what your soul wants to do. It wants to show up and cultivate its life force energy. We've talked a lot today about alchemy. We've talked a lot about the beings, the knowledge, the wisdom that is surfacing right now for you. I want to invite each and every single one of you guys, if you have not taken the video tour, oh shit, I'm way over. Good thing Nick isn't here. If you have not taken the video tour of the Akashic of the Academy, I'm going to place it in here again for you. When you go to this link, you're going to see a video of me. Click that video. In that video, I take you on a magical, a very short, it's a 2-minute video, a magical experience that will release ancient wisdom from your bones. We have brought in ancient wisdom. Just you being in this space, just you hearing, just you commenting, you have begun to illuminate this wisdom that is inherently within you. You are connected to ancient alchemy through your DNA, through your ancestry. I want you to click on this video and experience this short practice that will release it from your bones. You're going to feel it. This is called piezoelectric energy. And I'm going to take you on a process that will release that from your bones. Bring your awareness to the fact that you are releasing your understanding, your innate knowledge of ancient alchemy. And then if you haven't taken a video tour of the Academy and you have not joined us as a member yet, put your name and email in the box. We're going to send you an 11-minute video. We'll take you on an entire tour to get to know me, to get to know Nick, and all of the 10 workshops that we bring you every single week inside of the Academy. And right now, it's $4.44. All right? Your first month, $4.44. Posting those links for you guys. I really, go do this little magical video, because after what we have created here today, the awareness, the knowledge, just like I said, it's already moving in you. It's already doing its thing. Go and do this short little practice with me. It's going to assist you greatly. Thank you guys for hanging out. We have lovely Angel coming up a little later on today at noon. And of course, right here at the network every single day, all day, every day of the week, you can dive in, connect with soul family, powerful, smart, wise energy healers with lots of areas of expertise, here to support and uplift you on your journey. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Namaste, and I'll see you here again next time.